Hmm. Hmm.
Morning, David.
Good morning, Bill.
I guess I should start video, huh?
Well, that might be good. There
There we
you are. How are you this morning?
go. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm pretty good. The procedure yesterday was successful. My heart is back in sinus rhythm, and so I'm 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 on the upswing.
Good, good.
Yeah, a couple of other issues to deal with, but that's just part of my age.
Yeah, yeah. I can understand.
I'm sure you do. um, Actually, this morning it's just you and Bill Bynum, so
Yeah, yeah.
I'll wait a moment for him.
And no Adam again. Yeah.
No, I had a message from him. He has a directors meeting this morning, so when we get to see him, it's a special week. Although he does work with the videos every week at home, so
Yeah.
he's trying to keep abreast at least of what we're endeavoring to do. There he is. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, you got Bill B.
That's close.
He's connecting to audio. Morning, Bill.
Well, can you hear us, Bill?
Here I am.
There you are. Ah.
Yes. Yeah, I was getting on my newer computer and it's still trying to update Zoom Workplace. I don't understand.
Ah.
So I pulled this one out and it doesn't have to update. It's happy where it is, and I haven't used it in weeks.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, Bill.
Uh,
um, so it's just the two of you this morning. Um, Joanne's nephew died of cancer, and she's at the funeral today. And Carol's daughter and grandchildren are visiting, and she's occupied happily.
yeah,
And Adam had a director's meeting as usual. So,
yeah,
so I'm delighted to have the two of you, however.
yes.
So, think of your questions. Good. So, how are you doing? What's happening in your practice or not?
Yeah, that's the one. I don't know that my upper dantian is engaged yet. So,
That may take some time.
yeah, yeah.
How are you feeling about the middle dantian?
Uh, Gradually better.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that's something. Maybe if I got in more practice, I'd be even better.
Well, we know that to be true, but uh, good good for what you did get. Um, Mr. Bynum?
Yeah, I find just even just somehow sitting and doing reverse breathing uh, in a relaxed way without any form going on starts to identify the middle dantian a little
Hmm,
bit.
good.
When I'm doing the the uh, practice, not so much. So, but uh, but yeah, I did have an interesting experience. I'd been practicing pretty regularly this week, but part of it was prep for a colonoscopy that I had yesterday
Uh-huh.
afternoon. And when I was coming out of that light anesthesia they do, I stood up next to the bed and I started doing the gods to try to get stuff going,
Yeah.
to get, just get my body out of from under that. And it felt really good.
Oh,
but
good.
but
Oh,
then the nurse objected.
She objected.
Yeah. Well, you're supposed to, they're supposed to get you out to your car in a wheelchair
Yeah.
and not have some crazy guy waving his arms around it. They've got
Well,
their script and I had my script. So
yeah. Too bad she couldn't be a little more flexible.
Yeah, yeah. But
Well,
but yeah, I think my feeling with the form is improved, although I can't say with the last couple of lessons we've had and talking about the things we're talking about and moving and feeling all three Dantians and that I'm not in touch with that well, but I feel like my practice has improved. So
well, good, good. Well, I want to do that practice we did last time again because I think this is a difficult stage, and even though it will probably take you quite a bit more time to actually achieve clarity, um, I think it might be helpful to try this practice again.
Yep, I agree.
So however, when we come to starting a movement from gods, I'm going to ask you to pick your second favorite instead of your most favorite. So you might think about that. So I want you to do a different movement than you did last week. Okay?
Okay. I'm trying to think right now about which of the movements would allow the upper Dantian, for me at least, to get involved more easily. Uh,
Mm-hmm. That's
but
a good thought.
yeah, okay.
I'm not going to answer that for you, Bill, if
No,
that's what
no,
you're
I
asking.
know.
I think there are a couple that you were not doing previously that would fill, fulfill that. At least a couple, maybe three.
Yeah, okay.
Good. Well, if you gentlemen will stand.
Yep.
Just feel your structure for a minute, making sure you're straight and balanced and as relaxed as you can be. And breathing. Trying to make sure your breath is continuous and allowing it to slow and lengthen. Try not to pause your breath at all. And then make sure your mind is stable in that point above your head and the one below your feet. They are at the boundaries of your etheric body. And it will be easier if you put your mind inside your body. And first, Just feel, what does your body feel like from the lower dantian down to your feet? From the pelvis through your butt, through the quads and thighs, calves, toes and feet. Usually when we talk about the principles of heaven and earth, earth is from your dantian to below your feet. And then start to feel inside your body everything upwards. Fingertips, belly, back, chest, neck, front and back of your head, all the way to above your head. What does this heaven part of your body feel like? Now take the sense of your vision to being from your eyes, and have that sense of breathing with your third eye. It's between your eyebrows, a little bit above them. And inhale, going into your brain, and when you exhale, go away from your brain. And notice that when your vision comes in, it will seem a little bit different than when it goes out. But that's normal. Now when we talk about this particular center in the body, there are actually two of them. One is when you're only just inside your skull, about an inch, and the other one is when you're exactly in the middle of your brain, along the central channel. So first, just focus on the one that's just about an inch or a little bit more inside your head. Now, as you do this, you're starting to activate something that's within your upper dantian. And you have to do something else simultaneously. I want you to breathe from the bottom of your etheric body below your feet to your feet. So as you breathe into your skull, you're breathing up to your feet. And as you're breathing out of your skull, you're breathing down below your feet. And what you're looking for is not that the head is doing something and the feet are doing something, but that they are exactly balancing each other out. So when you're going into the brain, you don't have any tendency to space out or have your mind just start really free-flowing. It's balanced by the fact that your feet are on the ground. This makes sure that when you're working with your upper dantian, that your body is also grounded in the earth. The energy of your body is grounded inside your physical body. Because when you start going more into the upper dantian, it can start appearing as though your physical body is starting to go away or fade in and out, or get very cold, or completely disconnected. And now see if you can breathe in further to the very center of your brain, which is when, if you want to say the upper dantian is a point, that it's located. This is actually where the real one is. It's just not the whole thing. So the breathing you're doing is keeping your body completely with the earth. And what you're doing with your head is not exactly completely with the earth. Remember, thought does not have to have any connection to physical reality. Whenever you start working with the upper dantian, you must get the balance between being present in your physical body and being present to what can take you beyond your physical body and beyond the perception of time and space that you're in. And now begin a movement of God's playing in the clouds. Keep doing this practice as you do the movement, with everything else you do inside of it. Now, your fourth energy body can be accessed from within your flesh. So if we take the simple example of your arms, because it's easier, your first energy body is your skin. And your second energy body is the Wei Qi, the river of Qi that runs beneath your skin and your muscles, between your skin and muscles. And the third energy body is deeper inside your arms, a bit more into your muscles. And your fourth energy body is again deeper in, moving toward your bones, but there's still space at the end of it for the psychic energy body, which is going to hover just above your bones to be active. And remember, you have to have your eyes going in and out. As you inhale, go into your body to where the fourth energy body is. And when you exhale, from your fourth energy body to your skin. Go from the first to the fourth, and the fourth to the first. Now, the mental energy body is not really thought. It is that from which thoughts emerge. So if you happen to get thoughts, it doesn't matter what they are. There is also a feeling at the depth of your body when something is going on. And as that flow at that deeper level inside your body starts to change, your thoughts will probably change with it. And as you practice more and more, you will learn how to get a greater ability to control that flow. It's very hard to say how soon you will experience it. For some people, the outflow goes faster, and they either get more and more crazy, or else they get extremely creative. And there is a difference how those two states exist inside your body and how they feel. And for others, if that flow becomes very steady and even, a person naturally becomes very calm and measured. And yes, if that flow gets slow and murky enough, they either get very internally still, or some even lose the ability to think if they want to. They go into great, long, blank spaces. Remember not to lock your arms or your legs. They must remain flexible the entire time, because the pulsing action of your arms and your legs will stop as soon as any joint fully extends. So some things that may seem to be spontaneous, both from the blue, may be coming from inside of you, or they may be coming from outside of you. And at this stage of the game, there are all sorts of things in physics that would validate that basic proposition. And a lot you cannot actually know. But if your mental body is operating and open, that which is able to happen will. And there's a whole question that has been raging in the world of physics for the past 30 years. Is knowledge inside the body or outside of the body? And each side has its proponents, but neither can absolutely prove their case. But in case it is, seen from inside your brain and getting into the fourth energy body inside your flesh, I'm not going to try and do things where you are going to go outside your body, because I believe that's a level of difficulty that very few people can pull off. But doing it to where you focus on the fourth energy body inside your flesh, that offers a more realistic possibility. I know when some mental problem of my own was an issue that I couldn't figure out, that practicing for a while with the mental energy body, somehow the answer might very well pop up. And where did it come from? Nobody knows. And if you wish to have your body perform any sort of physical function, mental energy body can enable your body to operate more efficiently. Many Taoists who did martial arts found that when they truly could harness the mental energy body, all of a sudden the power of their punches or whatever rather rapidly increased. And it had nothing to do with how many times they were practicing the movement, but it had everything to do with the fact that they could motivate the fourth energy body and get it to travel to where they wanted it to go. When you come to the end of this repetition, let your hands come down to your sides. And just stay aware of everywhere inside your body where the fourth layer of mental energy is. And just observe what it's doing and how it's doing it. Keep on having your feet below and your head above be stable. And seeing from your eyes, going out and going into the middle of your brain. As you go into your mental energy and come out of it a little bit. And when you're ready, pause and relax. So what did you feel in that? How was that for you?
I think the that the center point, or what is the point of the Dantian and not the Dantian, not the whole thing in the head, is, and balancing that with the feet, is that mind intent and mind attention was really good.
Mm-hmm. And could you feel the difference between those?
Yeah. Yes, and I think having, thinking about having your feet on the ground, I keep thinking of show tunes and stuff. Have your feet on the ground. But the but was a good there was some power in thinking about those things together instead of just trying to find the upper Dantian.
It's really important. Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
I think for me at least it improved, some awareness, some sense of the upper Dantian. The third eye I can get in touch with. We've done that in the past
Mm-hmm.
several times, and that experience helped help
Good.
to just go behind there a bit. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. Bill?
Um, well, this was unusual this morning. I don't often uh, have a practice like that.
Hmm.
Lots of heat. Um, my shirt is damp. um, my legs are sweaty. And that started right away with standing and didn't go away when we started doing the movement. So I was happy about that. And I
Mm-hmm.
tried to not compartmentalize my thinking about the feet, the middle, the lower, the upper, and just let it all hang together. And that seemed to work this morning.
Mm-hmm. Good.
As I say, it doesn't often happen, but it sure did this morning. So,
That's good because it it lets you know that that's possible.
yeah, yeah.
So that's great. So did any particular questions come up for either of you in this?
Uh, not, not really. I guess, I mean, I just naturally wonder, why this morning for my experience and not yesterday and maybe not tomorrow or maybe tomorrow. Yeah. But um, what, what allows me to get locked in?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is. Yeah, so,
Mhm.
I think that's discovering the reality of how every day is different.
yeah.
And it's true with whatever you're working on. I mean, whether it's God's or uh, the Wu style or
Yeah.
uh, the Yang style, whatever it may be. Um, there are days when all of a sudden everything comes together,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's many days before that happens again. Um, but each day is slightly different, and so one needs not to expect
You're
every
right.
day to be great
Right.
when you've had a really good experience because um, it goes up and down. But there is value in every practice because you learn something in every practice. If you're really practicing, not just um, doing it on the surface. So whether you have a wonderful sweaty experience or not, um, there are things to be learned by regularly spending a little bit of time with this.
Yeah.
So, anything for you, Bill Bynum?
Um, well, why that that's sort of the uh, how good was my practice if you're looking at it from the outside. I still, especially going from the yin, and I start as soon as I start my uh, exhale and start, twisting out, and that particular one, twisting out
Hmm.
and bringing my hands up. I still am finding that I finish the twisting out way before I should, which should happen right up there, and
Hmm.
then transition in. And I'll fix that, and then it goes back and happens again. And I lose an awful lot of energy if you go walk and then it's
Yeah.
uh and I guess that's keeping on working at it, but smooth, so that was just a thing. I was finding myself irritated at myself for that, so that's no good either.
No.
but
No. You're right.
but and then I would get it better, and then get back to what we're thinking about.
Well, there's a whole lot going on here, and you're absolutely right. You should not beat yourself up because you're doing the best you can do at the moment. Um, on the other hand, you are absolutely right that all of those movements need to be coordinated together and have very smooth transitions from one to the other. So, um, finishing too soon with one leaves you um, putting a block up in what you're trying to accomplish. And so it's really important to keep working on that until it becomes just how you do it, because that's really critical in the long run to achieve that coordination. And I completely understand. It seems on the surface that, well, what's so hard about these simple movements? Well, as we've discovered, there's a whole heck of a lot going on in here that is not on the surface, because now we're really beginning to move towards truly doing Neigong, not Qigong. And the physical movement being important, but only a small part of what's going on.
Mhm.
So I understand um, what you're saying and what you're going through, Bill, because believe me, I have been there and done that.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. Um, and you say to yourself, "What's wrong with me?
right, right,
I know
right.
better than that."
Darn. I just told myself not to finish that too soon.
Yeah,
Did it
right.
again. Did it again. Would you talk a little bit about? I know the 16 Nagong we talked about very early in the
Hmm.
practice, and the different. You just mentioned difference between Nagon and Qigong. Could you talk about that some more
Sure.
right now?
Um, Qigong is really a newer word that really didn't exist in the deep past. Um, but it has come to describe the more superficial levels of these energy practices. And that does not mean solely the physical part. There's also an awareness of the energy movement, um, certainly in the first and second energy bodies in doing Qigong. But it does not endeavor as Neigong does to reach um, down into the deeper levels, both inside the body and outside of the body, as Neigong does. And while Neigong usually has a physical external, which can be seen, there is often far more happening internally than externally. Whereas with Qigong, um, it's kind of 50-50. But when you get into Neigong, now the physical movements are simply helping you to be able to do the maximum of the internal work. And it does get easier, and it does you arrive at a point where with practice, my favorite word, where you no longer have to have your conscious mind involved with what you're doing. And really that at that point is when you really begin to arrive at doing Neigong. And when you do, you then can also get to a point where you can truly meditate while doing the full Neigong practice. Which I will talk about later on. Not this week, but
Okay.
but
I think
go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it is a part of this level of teaching right at the end of it. So we will talk about that a little later.
Okay, because I think as I'm if there's something in the note early on, you gave us a list of Neigong.
The 16 Neigong.
Yeah, the 16 Neigong, and I don't remember if there's anything in any of the notes after that that's sort of a broad but a little deeper take on the Neigong. Am I remembering, or did it? If there is something, I would like to be guided back to it.
Actually, there isn't, because it's it's all in the practice.
Yeah, I know it encompasses the whole thing. It's like talking about the air or something.
Right. As a matter of fact, the 16th Neigong, if you remember, is incorporating all the previous 15 principles.
Right. Yeah,
So that's
yeah,
so you could go back to that list and see what they are,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's not we're now beginning to get into some of those things that are beyond the breathing, twisting, bending, lengthening. Um, those are all elements which contribute to the internal. Um, but opening and closing, for instance, which is if you haven't done a training, that is something that's pretty critical eventually to it. Um, Spiraling, which is the stage beyond twisting in moving the energy internally. Um, that's something that we don't really get into in this particular group of lessons.
Mhm.
Um, there are
And you
just several elements more beyond what I'm able to take you into in this particular class.
mhm. Well, now and then you have mentioned twisting leads to spiraling, and that's
Hmm.
a, a progression. Uh,
Yep. So, do you understand what we mean by spiraling?
no, and that's one of the things when I'm thinking about wanting my twisting to be smooth and, you know, get to the right level of out before I start the transition to twisting in. And
Mhm.
uh, if I twist out and then wait a while and then twist in, that's obviously not it. I figure I'm not even at step one very consistently, uh, so I'm not quite ready to spiral. But
No, you probably aren't. You're quite right.
but
Um,
but
but the twisting, particularly um, when you can get to the point where you begin to twist through the fascia, then when that is developed to the point where it is really clear, then you could move to spiraling.
hmm,
But that's really considered a whole separate stage of training, actually. Um, the in the process of the five major stages in the Energy Arts series, spiraling energy bodies uses the same movements as opening your energy bodies, but teaches spiraling to do it.
hmm. I will say with the twisting, my first twisting was very, I guess, muscular.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's called
you know,
turning.
yeah, right. And now I think I'm a lot better at, even if I do it too fast, at having the muscles more relaxed and having it be still energetic and,
Mm-hmm.
not like a wiggle worm, but there's something substantial there, but it's not the muscle
Uh-huh.
uh activity for the twisting, which I feel better at relaxing muscles through all the movements, including the twisting.
Good.
But
That's a really important step. So that's good.
and with probably the exception to that is my abdomen with reverse breathing. There's
Mm.
still still a lot of muscle there. So,
That takes a while. um, if you think about it, when you breathe, um, you are not particularly using muscular movement to do that. You're using the movement of the air and the inflating and deflating of your lungs. It's the same kind of movement that you're looking for.
mhm,
And um, it is important and indeed difficult to let go of using the muscles to get those movements in and out, um, and letting something else develop. Let it be more energetic. And when you can, you will find that it increases what you feel happening.
mhm.
So,
Well, where I'm at right now, it feels like the muscle, the lower abdomen, I'm pretty good at having sort of a wave. So it does feel very circular.
mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, both the inhale starting low and then coming up high, and then the exhale starting high and going low, expanding out. And so that more kind of mechanical, muscular thing has changed the energy flow, I think, internally for me at this point. But
Good. Good. Good questions, Bill. I love questions. Well, I think what it leads to some of the best information and training, because it's addressing what's on your mind, so that we can move towards getting our mind out of the way.
yeah, right.
Well, I think that's it for today.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Good
Thank
class.
you.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Yes, you too.
You guys also take care, Bill.
Yeah, you too, Bill.